Have you ever loved doing something, realized you were incredibly good at it, and then walked away because the expectations became a burden? When I was in school, I played hockey. The field felt like absolute freedom until I started to win. As my skill grew, so did the stakes. Every missed goal felt like a personal failure, and eventually the anxiety of losing began to blot out the fun of playing. By the 12th grade, I was done. The fear of failure had grown heavier than the desire to play. I left the sport behind. That was an 8-year journey from passion to burnout. Now imagine maintaining that exact same pressure across an entire family for 60 years. The story begins in 1960 in the Soviet Union. Alexander Zverev Sr. becomes a world-class tennis player, good enough to compete in Grand Slams, but he never captures a title. His wife, Irina, hits the same ceiling. Despite being ranked 4th in the entire USSR, she retires without a major victory. When the Soviet Union collapses, the family moves to Germany. They have no guarantees of success, only the quiet belief that their unfulfilled dreams might finally be realized through their children. The older son, Misha, turns pro in 2005. He plays a craft-heavy serve and volley style that peaks in 2017 when he stuns the world #1 Andy Murray at the Australian Open. But Misha's run ends in the quarterfinal. He reaches his limit, leaving the family's trophy case empty for yet another generation. 3 generations of elite talent, 0 major titles. The baton and the mounting weight of those 60 years is passed to the youngest son. Sasha Zverev turns professional in 2013. He is the ultimate prospect, possessing a lethal serve, a punishing backhand, and the physical frame of a future world #1. But Grand Slams are not just physical tests. They are psychological endurance matches that require a player to conquer their own internal narrative. In the 2020 US Open final, Sasha leads Dominic Thiem 2-1. He is minutes away from the family's first major. Then his mechanics begin to tighten. His game dissolves. He loses in 5. This loss exposed a painful reality. The pressure was doing more damage than his opponent's serve. Sasha was drowning in the massive psychological weight of the stadium, essentially beating himself from the inside out. By the 2022 French Open, Sasha is playing the best tennis of his life. He is in the semifinal against Rafael Nadal, exactly 45 points away from becoming the #1 player in the world. During a rally, his shoe catches the clay and his ankle violently buckles. He tears 3 ligaments and fractures his foot, leaving in a wheelchair. This injury provided the perfect psychological alibi. It was a globally accepted reason to walk away and finally escape the crushing expectations of the Zverev legacy. Instead, he fights his way back to the tour, only to endure more heartbreak. He reaches the final in 2024 and 2025, but watches the trophy go to a younger generation both times. Entering the 2026 French Open, Sasha is no longer just playing a match. He is carrying 60 years of family history and 11 years of his own public failures. June 7, 2026, Roland Garros. At 29 years old, Sasha Zverev walks out for his 4th Grand Slam final. He dominates the first set 6-1, but the ghosts of past failures soon return. He drops the second set and loses a critical 4th set tiebreak. His body begins to mirror his panic. His legs cramp. He commits 9 double faults. The crowd watches in a state of collective anxiety, sensing another historic collapse. Early in the 5th set, he double faults to go down 0-30. He is standing in the exact moment where his fear has always been the loudest. At 0-30, the entire funnel of this Zverev story compresses. 60 years of family struggle and 11 years of personal trauma are suddenly centered on a single point. He stops trying to force a result. He stops calculating the weight of his father's legacy or the physical surface of the trophy. He simply hits the ball, surrendering the outcome to the rhythm of the game itself. By letting go of the result, his physical weapons move without hesitation. He stops fighting his own body and allows his serve and backhand to fire with their natural, lethal rhythm. He takes the 5th set 6-1. Alexander Zverev collapses on the clay, a Grand Slam champion, finally breaking the 60-year curse. I stopped playing hockey because the pressure became a cage. I couldn't separate the love of the game from the fear of losing it. Sasha Zverev lived with that same fear for over a decade. But fear provides proof that a goal actually matters. True champions are defined by their willingness to play the fifth set, even when terrified. Zverev's story asks us a different question. When the fear is at its loudest, will you let it stop you, or will you play the fifth set anyway? Alexander Zverev played the fifth set. He is the 2026 French Open champion, and a 60-year-old story finally has its new chapter.